I am a mom. I am a business owner. I am an entrepreneur. I'm a believer. I'm a fighter. My name is Andrea Beem, and this is my story. I was at what you could possibly call the peak of my career. My business was growing. I had paid off all of our debt. We were hitting sales records like crazy. I had even earned a coveted position as a business coach. Things were barreling forward at 80 miles an hour for me. I was absolutely in heaven in that moment, and I was pushing the limits of every single iron that I had in the fire. And then reality hit. I had 5 people leave my company: agents, administrative staff, leadership, and actions left me feeling hurt and betrayed and even angry. My business had several transactions that fell apart in a short amount of time, and the culture and the environment of my business was struggling at best. And this was just my professional life. In my personal life, I was struggling to be a mom to my 2 teenage boys. I was feeling the weight of financial commitments on the personal front. And suffice it to say, my doubt at that time was in full swing. I was doubting my ability to be a good mom. I was doubting my ability to be a good business owner. I was doubting my ability to be a good leader. I was doubting my value that I brought to this world, period. I had turmoil in my business, and I had turmoil in my life. I had completely lost my confidence at this point, and I lost my value. And then I got taught a lesson in the most unexpected of places, you guys. It was a freezing Friday night. I get cold a lot. It was a freezing Friday night, and here in Oregon. And my 2 boys, they play football for the school that they attend. And one of them's in junior high and one in high school. And we were about to go up against a tough opponent. And our star running back couldn't play. And our team was struggling with wondering if they could even win without their star player. And my son was being put in. Well, I knew he was struggling with whether or not he could perform, not only for himself, but for his team. And fast forward to the game starting, and in one of the opening plays, my son gets the ball. And he is running as fast as his legs will take him down the field towards the end zone. You guys, here is my proud mama moment. I am jumping up and down in the stands, yelling for him to go, run. Here is a clip of that video for you to watch. Now, in that moment, when the ball went flying and my son went to the ground, I was devastated. I was heartbroken for him. I knew he would be devastated. I knew that he would feel that he had let everyone down. I knew he would feel embarrassment in front of hundreds of people. And I knew that he would feel like crawling in a hole and just hiding there. Funny, because that is what I was feeling about my life. Now, the story doesn't stop there. See, he goes back into the game and he ends up scoring 3 touchdowns and running the ball an additional 150 yards. He makes 14 amazing tackles as a defensive linebacker and causes another forced fumble. See, There was a lesson that I learned that day. He made a choice. He made a choice to not give up. He made a choice to keep going. He made a choice to keep fighting, to not hide. He could have easily found a way to disappear amongst the other players and hope and pray that he didn't get asked to go back out on the field. And he didn't. So what was the lesson I learned? He was making that choice. Why wasn't I? So I know that it can seem that just as one problem is solved, that another one rears its ugly head in your life. And it can feel like falling dominoes, just hitting you one after the other. See, I started to dread my days because I started to focus on, well, what's going to happen today? What's next? What's the next thing that's going to hit me? And I also know that it can feel like you've hit rock bottom, only to find out that rock bottom isn't always the worst part. Sometimes, guys, you hit rock bottom and you still get drug across the bottom. You get drug across rocks, and you get drug across stumps and gravel, and you get bloodied and bruised. Have you experienced this? Maybe you're experiencing it right now. Let me share this with you. You drown not by falling in the river, but by staying there. I want to share a book with you guys called The Cradles of Eminence. In this book, the authors wrote about hundreds of extremely successful men and women, and they studied the difference of what made these men and women successful. Some crazy statistics in this book is that 3/4 of the men and women that they studied all faced poverty and hardship and broken homes. And 1/4 of them were faced with disabilities, whether it was blindness or deafness or other crippling disabilities. So what makes them successful and achievers? How come they overcome these problems in their life when so many of us are overwhelmed by ours? See, they were able to see their problems as stepping stones, whereas so many of us see our problems as stumbling blocks. They were able to make a choice to problem solve. Generally speaking, you guys, we all try to eliminate hard from our life. I mean, we are human. The problem with that thinking is that all amazing accomplishments are hard, and some of them very hard. So if easy is the route that we are trying to go, I fear that you will be severely disappointed. I have come to believe that life was designed by God to be hard so that we could grow in character and we could become strong. Maybe whatever hole you're in, maybe whatever hardship you are facing, maybe the crappy week that you're dealing with, or maybe it's an entire year that just keeps trying to tear you down and test your breaking point. Have you ever considered that some of those things are happening for you instead of to you? I struggled with my thoughts a lot during this process of climbing out of this hole. My own thoughts right up here in my head. And if I'm being honest, I still do. Who doesn't? See, thoughts are otherwise known as the stories that we're telling ourselves. It's the silent reel that goes through our mind pretty much on a daily basis, maybe even on a minute-to-minute basis. And these stories can be the source of, so many problems in our lives. And I've shared a couple of my stories or thoughts with you just a few minutes ago. Maybe some of them are familiar to you. Maybe things like, gosh, this is unbelievably hard. I don't know. Maybe I should go do something else. Or maybe it's the thought or the story that you're just not naturally gifted at this. Move along. Maybe it's the story that you're telling yourself that you should compare yourself to the person next to you or to your competitor. Maybe it's the story that for some reason you think that you need to pay attention to the thoughts and opinions of everyone else around you has about you. These are all thoughts and stories that went through my head. And again, if I'm being honest, I still struggle with to this day. So here, guys, is where the mindset starts to shift. It all starts with telling this roommate that sits up here in your head to sit down and shut up and start believing in yourself. Because if my son can do it on a cold Friday night in front of hundreds of people, then so can you. So can I. One of the best examples that I can give you of controlling your thoughts and believing in yourself is Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali is famous for obviously his boxing career, and he went on national television many times with his antics that he would say that was, very entertaining. And one particular quote that he said really caught my attention. He said, "I said I was the greatest even before I knew I was." See, even Muhammad Ali had to convince his own self that he was the greatest. He had to believe in himself. So there's a few steps that I learned over this journey of climbing out of this hole that took much longer than I probably would be proud of sharing. But these steps helped me out at different places in my life, and I want to share some of these with you now. Step number 1, channel your inner 9-month-old. Guys, when you were 9 months old or 7 or 8 months old or whenever you were learning to walk, think of how many times you went from the couch to the coffee table trying to take a few steps, and how many times did you land on your butt? How many times did you fall on your face? And you didn't quit then. So where is that persistence now? Find it. Number 2, quit being surprised. Problems are going to happen. It's no different than getting a flat tire when you're going down the road. Do you expect it? No. You can plan for it. You can have tools in your car to change your flat tire, or maybe you have a phone number you can call of someone that will come and help you change your tire. You prepare for it so that when they do happen, you have the tools to deal with it. So quit being surprised when these problems hit you. They're coming. I guarantee it. Number 3, implement thinking time. Thinking time is so important to gain clarity in your life and in your goals and in what your priorities are. See, we're all so busy hustling and bustling to the next thing that we think that we need to do, whether it's in our personal life or in our work life. We're busy. That is our society these days. So where do you take the time to really give yourself time to think and put thoughts into what is important? Was the thing that you just said yes to, was it that important to say yes? A great coach told me one time that for every yes you give, you better back it up with 1,000 no's. Spend 30 minutes a day even. Write a question at the top of a journal, 1 page, and just spend time, 30 minutes, writing down your answers to that one question, your thoughts, your creativeness, your ideas. Maybe it's more questions. That's okay. There will be a list for you to download of questions that you can use during your thinking time. Number 4, stop listening to that roommate in your head. You guys, those thoughts that are going around in your head, it's your roommate, sure. And you can also choose to not listen to said roommate. Number 5. Brené Brown said it best when she said, start listening to the people that are in the arena fighting with you. Those people, you should be able to list them out on one index card. And guys, it's just the front of the index card, not the front and the back, just the front, and with a Sharpie pen. One index card should be the amount of people that you value their opinion and speaking into your life, and their opinion should matter. Number 6, change one thing or habit that you do daily. Until you change one thing or habit that you do daily, you're going to stay stuck. For me, I made the change and the decision to get up at 5 a.m. I decided that at 5 a.m. I was going to go for a walk every day and just be in the quietness of the morning with the wind in the trees and the birds chirping. Everything just feels right at 5 o'clock in the morning. So what thing or habit do you need to change in your life daily? And number 7, hire a coach. A personal coach, a business coach, a mentor, an accountability partner. They're going to hold you accountable, and they're going to probably say things that are tough to hear, that you need to hear. They're not afraid of ruffling your feathers. And quite frankly, a coach can take you past where you even thought was possible. These are some of the things that helped me get through and get out of the dark hole that I was in. And I trust that some or maybe all of these things will help you too.